Welcome back. A lot's happened since the last time we saw you. Let's get right into it.
A whole lot. We got national team news. We got club stuff. I mean, it's going to be a good video today.
Yes, sir.
A few different topics to get into. First one we're going to talk about, you see it on the thumbnail, U.S. men's national team, January camp. Some call it the baby girl camp.
Some call it the B team. You know, it depends how you want to refer to it.
It's pretty much a C team. To be completely honest.
Yeah,
if we're going through this lineup, kind of a C team.
There's not a lot of well-known players. If you know type of players. You know, some people that have deserved a shot for a while, but for whatever reason they haven't been brought around.
Mm-hmm.
Others that have been around in the A team, Jesus Ferrario, we're looking at you, but are just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Or won't be there.
It's mostly a lot of MLS guys, as you can tell from the roster. MLS heavy. I'm fairly certain pretty much all these guys
Greg's
are in
back.
MLS. So that's what this January camp usually is. This January camp is typically never really been that important, but to some it is. So we're here to talk about it. We're here to give you all the info.
To these players, it's damn important.
Yeah.
Some of them got their very first calls. Some of them get their very first caps. You know, this is a big deal for these players. And obviously, like Tanner said, it's January. It's not really, in the grand scheme of things, going to affect a whole hell of a lot going forward. But it's still fun to see. It's still the USMNT.
We're going to get to play Venezuela our first game. I think that's the 16th or 22nd of January at some point. We play Venezuela first.
Yep.
So it's going to be a good test for these players. Venezuela is a good team. I don't know if Venezuela really called their best players necessarily. I haven't really looked at their team, but that'll be to be determined when we go and play them first game. From the back to the front, goalies to attackers, we're here to tell you the lineup.
Just go through
the goalies.
Everybody.
Drake Callender, Matt Freese, Patrick Schultz, and Zach Steffen.
Congrats.
The goalies, you know, some familiar faces with Patrick Schultz and Zach Steffen. Patrick Schultz, Olympic roster guy. Zach Steffen also on the Olympic roster. Really, I believe he was. Didn't really play though.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's, like Trevin said at the beginning, somebody who was in the A team, but just kind of lost his form as of the past 3 or 4 years.
A player that not only Ferraria or Steffen, I mean, they're both players that at one time they were given the opportunity. Yeah. They were given that, okay, here's your chance.
They were damn near the guy.
Take it.
At one
show
point.
us what you could do. And both of them, like Tanner said, they've been out of form really for the last
at least 2 years.
Steffen in particular,
about 2 years.
2 years.
Or so.
Jesus does pretty well in the MLS, but that's his level. You know, that it is what it is.
Patrick Schultz for me is a standout guy, Columbus Crew guy. Yeah. He's won the MLS Cup a few times with them. Really good goalie, young, maybe 22, 23. We saw him for the Olympic team. Did all right. I mean, that Olympic team didn't really do that well at all throughout the tournament. So to really judge him fully off that, can't really. I'm really looking forward.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this January camp. I think he's going to be the starting goalie. He deserves it out of the group of players we have there in goalie. And Trevin will go right through the defenders for us as he'd love to.
Defenders, we've got Maximilian Arfistan. I really hope that I'm not destroying your name.
Most probably
Lo Siento. Next, George Campbell. That's an easy one. That's, pretty straightforward. DeJuan Jones, Shaq Moore, Jalen Neal, Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, John Tolkien, and the famous Walker Zimmerman.
A lot of familiar faces again, especially the center back pairings. I think we're gonna honestly see Tim Ream, Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman as a back three.
Most experienced.
Jalen Neal, Shaq Moore, guys like that. Or Jalen Neal has seen the field a few times for the U.S. Really young guy again. Shaq Moore, more experienced guy, right back.
Somebody that we know is probably not going to be in the top 25 roster for the next major tournament.
For sure.
But somebody that has always provided adequate help when called upon.
Definitely able to fill in the spot, especially for this January camp. A right back. I don't know how much he'll be used, but in terms of the 3 center backs, those 3 guys we said, pretty much your back 3. And I think Tim Ream's probably going to hold it down in the middle.
As he does.
And Zimmerman and Robinson on the outsides of him. And that's going to be, I think, a tremendous back three, given what we have in this January camp.
Right.
That's going to be a really good, solid defensive unit right there.
Obviously not our starting back three, but for what we've brought, pretty good.
And to be
Probably
honest,
the strongest part of the team.
Yeah, most definitely. We go into the midfield. Benja Cormesi, Emeka Enil, Diego Luna, and Jack McGlynn. Again, probably butchered some names there.
Whatever.
Standout guys, though. Cormesi for Inter Miami has seen the field, been playing with Messi. I think that might be the biggest type. He's a good player. I've seen some highlights and things. Haven't seen too much of him, but I know he's been on the radar. He's been at some camps before, so it's going to be good to see that. Diego Luna, another guy. I mean, this kid, I think he's got some talent. I think he's ready for the next level above MLS. He's playing for Real Salt Lake right now.
Yeah.
I would love to see him take a next step in his career, go and develop somewhere else. Maybe like a Division II English team, lower league sides around Europe, even the Portuguese league, Brazilian league. We see people like Cardoso going to Brazil and then going to Spain, like stuff like that. I would love to see him get out of the MLS, get out of a comfort zone.
Yeah, don't get stuck there, because you definitely don't want to get to where the MLS is your level, and that's everybody that you've been training with, and you are one of the best players, but at the same time you don't want to be the best player on an MLS team and be really important for your national team. Like, it really doesn't happen. So we want to see Luna get out there.
Yeah.
And if it does mean he's got to go to one or two teams, in the same amount of years, so be it. He's getting the experience. He had 8 goals and 8 assists for Real Salt Lake, and yes, that is good for the MLS. You don't want to plateau there. You want to keep going. You want to keep trying to reach the heights that we think he can, and that he probably think. We know you're watching. We know you think you can. We know you can too.
Yeah.
So get out there, get some experience. It's not. I mean, I love FC Cincinnati when they play against good teams with good players, but let the older guys come here and let's watch the nostalgia. Let's get the other guys developed and out the door.
I really want to see him in one of the 10 roles. He's going to be exciting to watch. I really, really think he's going to be exciting to watch in this January camp. I think he'll be, hopefully, I want him to be one of our standout players, Diego Luna. I'd love to see this tournament him show, like, hey, I belong on the U.S. men's national team. Maybe he's definitely not a sure starter by any means, but definitely be noticed. And he's a guy who can get noticed. I really believe that. Moving on to the forwards.
We got Patrick, Agumang, I'm sorry, once again.
Sorry, man.
Lo siento. Somos gringos. Caden Clark, Jesus Ferraria, Brian Gutierrez, Matko Miljevic, Indiana Vasilek, and the whitest name ever, Brian White.
Some familiar faces in this team. We see Clark, Ferreira, a guy, Ferreira.
Let us know. Put it in the comments.
This guy, we've seen quite a bit of him for the U.S. men's national team. For a long time, it was him and Pepe. Those guys were battling it out. Now we've seen a little bit more of development with Josh Sargent, Haji Wright, obviously Balogun, Pepe coming along even more. So Ferrara's kind of faded out.
Yeah.
So to see him kind of get another opportunity in January camp, let's see what he can do with it. Let's see if he can get back on the radar for Pochettino, get his name in the hat for maybe getting a potential. These are their biggest and probably only opportunity to show out for Pochettino before the World Cup. We're going to have another January camp in a year from now, which the World Cup won't be here by then. Right. We'll still have that camp. But this is like the beginning stages. I think this kind of plants the seed for Pochettino going forward of what kind of player you are. So Ferreira, he's probably going to be the starting forward. I would assume he's going to be the starting forward, whether he's on the left, right, or down the middle. I think he'll probably be down the middle. But he's going to have to show something here. Yeah. And I think he really could. He has an opportunity because
I agree.
The U.S. men's national team, our striker pool, it may be a big pool. We have the players, but the quality isn't quite...
Not quite what we need.
Not quite there. We see players like Pepe and Balogun elevating. Balogun a little bit less right now just with the injury problems. Yeah. Pepe absolutely showing out. But the rest of them, Josh Sargent, he's good. Suffers from injury a lot though, so that's his biggest problem. Haji Wright, obviously he's always playing out of position, sometimes playing off the left for his club team and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So Jesus Ferreira getting called into this camp over players like Brandon Vasquez too. I think is huge. So he's got to take advantage of this opportunity as a striker. Hopefully put in some goals against Venezuela. Some other U.S. men's national team news. Big shout out to Musah, Christian Pulisic, Captain America,
yes, sir.
Coppa Italia,
or
Super Cup, Super Cup winners,
Sorry.
EA Sports Super Cup winners. Probably equivalent to something like the Carabao Cup in the Prem.
Yep.
Still a trophy. First trophy for Milan for both these guys. Really big stepping stone for them in their careers. We love to see it for AC Milan.
And you absolutely love to see Pulisic with the goal to crawl it back even. I mean, you see just an elegant pass inside from Teo Hernandez.
Yeah.
He was playing out of his mind. That was the game of his life, probably.
Free kick, the passing.
The guy was absolutely on it in all departments. I mean, that pass inside to Pulisic was a great pass and a great attempt, but it also took a great finish from Pulisic to finish and tie it up.
The touch, the finish, everything about it was beautiful. We see Pulisic later on putting in the pass for Leao to get an assist. The pass to Leao was insane. The vision, really good. We're glazing right now. I'm glazing right now. Absolutely glazing. Wow, what a pass.
But he's our guy.
He's our guy. He puts the ball in. And they go on and win. They go on and win 3-2 after being down 2-0. So that's just the most insane part about it. Musah obviously playing a majority of the game. Really good performance from him as well. Love to see him getting more opportunity. Hopefully he gets more opportunities underneath this new manager. So getting to start a final is huge. I think it's huge. It's a big step for the U.S. men's national team players. These two specifically. Hopefully we can see more of it going forward.
Moving over to club football, United faced Liverpool, and it actually was a fantastic game, and I didn't want to kill myself at the end, so...
Fantastic game. From a neutral's perspective, not really neutral, I kind of fucking hate both these teams, but for a neutral hate, oh my god, what a game. Both teams played particularly well, I think. And in moments, that's what this sport is all about, though, is moments. Liverpool... They looked like they had another year, but they couldn't switch it on. And United were just doing their thing. It felt like they had somewhat of a groove throughout. You could see the small setbacks, but they had resilience, and that's something you haven't seen from United in a long time.
1,000,000%. This team showed something that they haven't any game prior, and that was the heart and the desire that it was required to put on that shirt. I mean, Amorin was steaming mad after this game, not because of the draw. That was a fantastic result. To go into Liverpool when everyone expects... myself included, you to lose 5-1, 4-0, a very tough scoreline. And for you to go in there and get a 2-2 draw is always difficult and always a welcome result, from me in particular.
From the bottom to the top, lineup for United and Liverpool, kind of expected, I'd say, especially from Liverpool's side. Curtis Jones, I don't think he played very well. Mohamed Salah had some chances. Diaz some chances. Cody Gakpo goal. Some really good goals in this game. And in particular, that Lisandro Martinez to kick us all off. That goal was nice.
The game really was back and forth for about 50 minutes. Very, very close possession. Neither team really looked like they were going to get the one to go ahead. It really was like, oh no, we better not be the ones to let it up. Less so of, we need to be the ones to get the first one. But United absolutely rinsed Trent all day long. I mean, even before the goal, they were just absolutely attacking that left side of the pitch, his right, the right side of his defense. Whatever, what I'm fucking saying. That side was attacked all game long. I mean, you would see Dalot making runs that you had never seen him make
Not
before.
even the runs. I mean, Dalot looked like Riyad Mahrez out there. I mean, he was just he wanted to take Trent on. And it was beautiful to see.
Every time one of the players saw Trent in front of him, they knew they were running after him. Now there was one moment a little bit later in the game that I got frustrated because they wouldn't run at Van Dijk, because I think if you run at him, same results. But, that's neither here nor there. But they were absolutely cooking Trent all day long, and Martinez gets past him. Bruno, just an absolute peach perfect pass. Peach perfect pass. I mean, the guy is just stupendous. And that was a performance from a United captain who embodies what a United captain is. To go into Liverpool, to go into Anfield, and just have the man of the match performance that we all know he's capable of and that I love to see.
Liverpool, though, shortly later, Cody Gakpo, brilliant goal from him.
His own.
I mean,
Similar.
De Ligt sliding
Sent to
in.
the shops.
What are you doing there? He's gone. Gakpo puts it in the back of the net. Amazing goal. Continue on. The momentum's, it's not really switched in Liverpool's favor, but it's definitely slightly in their favor. It's at Anfield. You can see the tension's higher. It's 1-1 now.
People
United
are starting to get up a little more.
People are starting to get up. United had somewhat of control, then just kind of started losing it after that goal. Mohamed Salah puts away a penalty that should have been saved by Onana.
I mean, it's really tough when you're facing a penalty for any goalie, yes, but when you guess the right spot, when you guess the right direction,
And get your hand on it.
get your hands on it, it's really tough for me not to say, you need to save that. Obviously, I'm a big fat ass sitting in this chair and I'm not on the pitch, but at the same time, I'm not getting paid 175,000 pounds a week to do my job. So, we gotta figure it out here. You get your hands on it, you gotta save it, man.
Diallo, the man of the match yet again for United.
Inevitable. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's man of the match. Like I said, that's
well, maybe
me,
not but man of the moment for sure. Diallo
100%.
for United.
Diallo absolutely comes up big. He scored against City. He scored against Liverpool. He scored against Arsenal. The guy just scores in big games, and he did exactly what we needed to. Garnacho, shout out. Terminated that, or you shut down that Twitter account, and you're playing fantastic, my boy. Like just keep it going. Diallo though finishes it off, does exactly what he needs to, ties us up 2-2, and then we go to the other side of the pitch.
Xerxes comes on.
Hey, Joshua Xerxes, gotta give it up. That was a very good performance. Exactly,
little saucy man.
Exactly what we needed. Hold the ball. Do not let the ball go. And that's one thing that is very different between him and Højlund. Højlund has not that great of a first touch, but Xerxes will control it. He'll weave around somebody. He'll get the pass off that he needs to. Yeah, he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he doesn't need to be in those moments, and he did exactly what we needed him to do.
In saying that, though, praise Xerxes for all of that.
Yes.
When you need a killer, in the moment, we saw United could have won the game.
Yep.
Very much easily could have won the game. Is it? And it's so hard to say. It's like you should pass there, right? If you're looking at this from a subjective, subjective, like I think you need to pass there, and if we're just playing football, forget positions, forget who you are, forget names. You got a guy in the middle. He should get the ball. The pass wasn't the best, though. It was a little bouncy.
It was not a great pass.
And considering who it was in the middle, Harry Maguire, a defender, a center back, skies it. It's a scenario, but,
Maguire ends up fluffing his lines, but at the same time, like Tanner said, not a great pass. Xerxes in that moment, I think, in hindsight, obviously, you got to shoot that. But, yes, it was the right pass.
I think it was the right pass, At the same time, I think there's an argument that you want your striker to shoot there one-on-one with the...
Yeah.
Was he one-on-one? I mean, he was kind of 1.5 on one. I would say we could go back and, if we went back and dissected the whole play, I mean, I'm sure we could find an argument for why he should have shot, and I'm pretty sure we could also find an argument for why he should have passed.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't think
you got to execute whatever you do.
Whatever it was, he had to execute. The pass to Maguire wasn't great, bouncy. And even if it's not Maguire, I mean, forwards, that's a hard ball to control.
Tough one to control.
And getting that down, getting under that, putting it with power to get past. He had two guys kind of in front of him with the goalie, but not really, they're really off balance. So you have an opportunity there to capitalize.
That's ours. That's our spot right there. That was the chance to win the game, send all those losers home. Sad, like I love to see, but... it didn't happen, but we always take the 2-2 draws at Anfield. I mean, especially during, a transition period right now. Amorin was not happy with the fact that we showed the heart and the belief in this game, but why couldn't we do it in any of the other 3 previous losses? We'll see what happens. Hopefully they can actually figure out how to show up and play like grown-ass men, but we'll see what happens.